Hey there, Pastor Al here on this Wednesday. Thanks for joining me. I pray God's blessing this week for you on this Wednesday, and grateful that you tuned in for just a moment or two. Let's go into the Word, shall we? John chapter 6. Jesus here has just gotten through feeding the 5,000. He has made a declaration in John chapter 6 that he is the bread of life, and now he's going to be addressing the crowds because of what he has just done, the miracle. We know the feeding of the 5,000 was a result of Jesus trying to get away with his disciples. It didn't work. They followed him on foot. They came to him without any rest, and he had compassion on them, and he began to heal them, and he began to feed them. He fed them the 5 loaves and 2 fish, and now he's getting ready to address the crowds because they kept following him. And he says this in verse 26 of chapter 6. Jesus answered them and said, "Most assuredly I say to you, you seek me not because of you saw the signs, but because you ate of the loaves and were filled." And I wanted to address for just a moment today about what Jesus does when he fills us. And so many times we go to Jesus in prayer for the things that we see around us, the needs that we see around us. They even may be needs that are abstract. Maybe we need healing in a relationship. Maybe we need physical healing. Maybe we need financial restoration or financial help from the Lord. Maybe we need psychological or emotional help from him. Maybe we need something on this earth that we just can't get on our own. So we go to God in prayer, and we should go to God. It's give us this day our daily bread. The things that we need for God on a daily basis, we should be able to go to him for. Jesus is addressing something completely different here, though. He's saying the things you're seeking for aren't the things that are important. And if we get on to verse 27 of this chapter, Jesus says this: "Do not labor for food which perishes, but for food which endures to everlasting life." Jesus had just gotten done talking about he was the bread of life. He came down, and Jesus came down from heaven as the bread of life. He came down to feed us, but not with physical food. He says this, but to food that endures to everlasting life, he says, which the Son of Man will give you, because God the Father has set his seal on him. Jesus was set apart as the token for us, as the bridge for us, as the liaison for us to receive from God what we cannot get on this earth. There are so many things that we can get on this earth and that we ask God for on a regular basis that we do need to ask him for. But one of the things that's important for us to know is that we need to transcend the physical needs that we have around us and seek for the things that are not temporal but eternal. Jesus would say in Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, he says this, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. And I think if we follow that premise, Jesus is telling the crowds, there are things that are important that I'm giving you, but you're not seeking those things. You're only seeking the things that satisfy you temporarily. We see in John chapter 4 that the woman at the well thought the same thing about Jesus, and that he had water to give her, but it wasn't the water that she was thinking. She thought if she didn't have to come to the well to draw, she could save herself some embarrassment. But Jesus said, no, I've got living water to give you. I've got water to give you that flows out from you, not that you would pour into yourself. And so many times we seek after the things that benefit us here on earth. And it's not that we're selfish. It's just that these things are at our attention. They're on the forefront. They are things that we see around us all day long, whether it's our health or relationship or our finances or something else might be happening that we need God's intervention for. We see those things on a regular basis, but God is saying through Jesus here, he's saying, hey, there are many things that are so much more important than what you have here on earth. Seek after the things that are eternal. Seek after the things that God alone can give you that don't have anything to do with this world. And watch how God fills the gaps and fills the spaces for all of the other things that you need. May you find that an encouragement today, and as always, have a great day in Jesus.